Hey folks, Dave here, and I'm back with Joel.
Hey guys!
He is over his awful sickness, mostly. And it's finally time for a new Fallout tour. Joel, today, we are at Bunker Hill in downtown Boston. We're going to fill in a gap in my Minutemen lore for how General Dave's Minutemen Empire takes care of law and order in General Dave's Commonwealth. We saw in Sanctuary where a lot of the residences were. We've seen my military training camps. But now that the Minutemen have kind of restored law and order to much of the Commonwealth, if you are a citizen of the Commonwealth and you have an issue with a neighbor or a soldier or somebody, where do you go for justice, Joel?
I was gonna say, there will be no justice. only General Dave's justice. I feel like these are all paperwork you fill out. No one ever gets anything happen.
Oh, there will be justice, Joel. At the Minutemen Hall of Justice at Bunker Hill.
The Hall? What?
The Hall of Justice. Let's go on inside here. Justice and peace for the Commonwealth. We're going to take a look in a minute at what Bunker Hill looked like in the main campaign, because one thing I wanted to do, besides fill in some of my Minutemen lore here, was show how Bunker Hill has changed since the Minutemen took over. Because when you first find Bunker Hill, it's actually a pretty good-sized, thriving settlement. It's run by a group of merchants and traders.
I actually remember this one.
Yeah, people have got their own homes and whatnot, but I wanted to kind of try and show what it would look like once the Minutemen had established a center here and had turned it into one of their massive settlements. So in the old version of Bunker Hill, the Minutemen had failed the traders, and they were having to hire mercenaries to protect their caravans. They were paying off raider gangs. They were living in really crappy shacks. I mean, like with walls missing and stuff.
Yeah.
They were barely holding on. So besides providing a place with this really cool memorial location at Bunker Hill for a Minutemen Hall of Justice / courthouse, I also wanted to show how the civilians actually were getting some improvement to their lives by being under the control of the Minutemen. I didn't want it to be just General Dave moves in and builds all my stuff. I wanted to be like, okay, the civilians are actually moving up in the world some too, right? Well, let's get started, Joel.
So, are you saying that General Dave is dead, which allows this build? Because who allowed this build?
Well, a rising tide raises all ships. When General Dave is living life and things are going well for everybody else too. Secondly, after General Dave.
After he takes his cut.
So this building right here was originally one of the little crappy, missing wall shacks that people were living in. And this is now the location of our small jail cells. So, the town drunk, or if you've got a neighbor who you're accusing of, stealing something, basically small offenses, you might have them dragged off to the Minutemen jail.
Physically dragged, I bet.
This is actually slightly inspired by your talk of Mayberry recently. You've been watching Andy Griffith.
Oh, yeah.
So you open it up, and it actually triggers a little alarm here. It goes bzzz, just so people know, hey, the jail door's open. But it's not alright, huge security lockdown. It's just the jail's open. No big deal. Inside, it's actually kind of cozy. You've got this door right here where you can open the little hatch and
It's kind of cozy.
Put food in. But it's kind of nice. People are doing some artwork. You've got some flowers.
Oh, that's art. That looks kind of like people going crazy. That's what that art looks like.
Joel, don't judge art, okay?
Guns. some guy just weeping. And someone's on a train.
Yeah, a nice little train.
He's like, get me out of here.
But as you can see, it's tight quarters, but it's kind of cozy.
Yeah.
You've got storage for your stuff. It's just kind of Mayberry style jail. Like all my structures, you've got your stove to keep everybody warm, and I imagine whoever's in charge of this bunk would be the person who's been here the longest, because they have the radio and kind of their own little alcove. If you're a new guy waiting for your trial, you might grab one of these beds back here. You've got a small sink and just an open door bathroom. Just a small jail cell style bathroom, essentially. But overall, it's very secure. And it is one of the first buildings that you see in the settlement. So, even though it is less secure, just a civilian jail cell, we did make sure that there are plenty of defenses along the wall outside of it. I'm not sure if you noticed on the walk-in, Joel. The defenses here at Bunker Hill have been upgraded. We've got pikes, We've got General Dave's Wasteland Walls right there, available on Xbox and PC for download. Some razor wire and additional pikes, just because that jail cell is right there on the edge. But I imagine if you're living in that kind of comfort, like, your crime probably isn't bad enough that people are going to be trying to break you out, right? But just in case, extra defenses. You've got to weave your way in and out of these defensive fortifications as you head up the walkway, where one of our Minutemen Rangers is standing guard under a canopy
feet hurt,
and sandbag fortifications.
So looks like he's got like a cyborg leg.
Oh yeah, the leather armor right there.
Yeah.
You guys were asking, why do all of my Rangers have just the Park Ranger hat? Well, there's actually two main classes of General Dave's Minutemen Rangers. The ones that wear the Park Ranger hats are actually kind of like the civilian-facing ones. It's almost like the friendly face to the Rangers, while still being an elite fighting force.
The fact that you call them an elite fighting force.
They're Rangers! But there's also more traditional, like, heavy-hitting Rangers that would go out and fight the heavier fights outside of my settlements. And we're going to see some of those. We're going to go ahead, Joel, and we're going to head on into the Hall of Justice.
Hall of Justice.
Where there's a reminder on the outside that it takes taxes and caps to make all this work. Someone's taking an old propaganda poster and, like, painted over the, I think it was, like, bonds or something, and, like, painted caps on, a little Nuka-Cola on the side.
That's great.
It takes taxes and caps. And one thing you're going to see a lot of here is a lot of kids, because there's actually an orphanage here at Bunker Hill.
Huh.
That's your caps at work right there, taking care of the children.
Right next to the prison. Or
Yeah, because they have a job, as we'll see later on. This structure was originally really torn up from the war. So as you can see, the Minutemen have been working on rebuilding it, taking some bits of scrap from around the downtown areas and making it look really, really impressive once again, if a little bit scrappy. But thanks to all those scavenged parts, got quite the impressive looking foyer here,
nice to me.
where people wait to see the judge who's in charge of dispensing that Minutemen justice. The walls are rough, because again, most of this stuff inside the building has been scavenged to rebuild it.
Sure.
We were still able to find lots of nice fancy looking materials to really make it look like you're almost in an old world courthouse, which is what General Dave wants from being before the war.
Yes?
Got a display case up here.
That's pretty cool.
He's like checking his pants there.
He's very, very nervous.
As he should be.
Okay, so what do people do in here? Like, what happens in here?
Well, once you first enter the waiting room, before you take your seat, you're going to want to check in at the security booth. Which, just in case...
What do they weigh?
Oh, they're weighing the taxes and fees and dues, of course.
Go ahead.
This is where you can check in and figure out if you're early for your courtroom appointment, figure out if you have any kind of pre-filing fees you might have to pay, because there are going to be some pre-filing fees frequently. So go ahead and get your
I like
caps
the poster
ready.
with the guns. That's cool.
Another day of hard work.
And this being a
Never
secure area, it's
changes.
also one of the kind of like, what would it be, like the bailiff's armory, essentially. Like in case something goes down at the courthouse, you've got plenty of firepower in the secure area in case of lockdown. That's where you go to check in. And then you take your seat and wait for your court appointment to see the judge. Man, he's like really nervous, checking his shoes. Did I step in Brahmin crap? Take a quick look inside of the armory area here. Got some first aid kit. Lots of filing. Lots of paperwork. Lots of paperwork. So if you've got a, beef with your neighbor from Diamond City, you might drag him out here to the Minutemen Hall of Justice to get your justice.
What do you pay for your justice?
What do you pay for your justice?
What do you pay to get the justice? Like,
Oh man.
does the person who did a wrong to you? Are they the one fronting the cost of this?
Not up front, I would imagine.
Careful out there.
I imagine first you have to pay all of your filing fees yourself.
You're gonna have to be rich as crap to afford General Dave's justice.
But if one of my Minutemen catches you in the act, you'll be dragged off by our guys already.
Oh man.
So there's kind of like 2 levels of offenses, right?
Yeah.
There could be like slight criminal offenses, or it could be civil offenses. I imagine lots of traitors drag people here for justice. There's a lot of dragging going on. That's the word of the day, is dragging. Drag to the Hall of Justice. Under the counter, you've got your caravan shotgun and some different tools of the trade.
And a camera to take a photo of this murder.
Take a photo of the accused,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
for all the paperwork.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And then later on, to add it to that Minutemen background check network, you got to have all the filing ready to go. And this
Somebody needs to
being,
replace that fluorescent tube.
yeah, it's starting to flicker. This being a General Dave armory, plenty of M14s
Yeah,
ready to
I
go.
like that.
Some stuff's been checked out, but you have a pistol. And over here, a very classic Remington 1858, I believe it is.
That thing's already cocked, too.
It's ready to go, man. I mean, that's a black powder revolver. You better hope it's loaded. Otherwise, you're going to be here for a while.
Huh?
And some first aid, of course. Ready to rock and roll. And now that we're looking up, we've got
I
minigun
already
turrets.
saw that. I
yeah.
saw it. I was expecting. I was like, oh, it's a corner of a room. There's going to be a turret.
And of course, cameras as well. Cameras to watch all the justice happening all over the Hall of Justice. And that, Joel, brings us to the courtroom, where the Minutemen judge, protected by his bailiffs, can dispense that justice.
Please have a crazy wig. Please have a crazy wig.
Welcome to the courtroom.
Thanks for giving us the chance.
The bailiff is sipping his coffee to stay
What does
on the
bailiff
edge.
actually mean?
A courtroom officer, essentially.
Oh, okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I even have the courtroom style little doors there.
How would you do that?
Oh,
They're used in,
Like
I
a
think
little fence or something?
they're using bars in
Oh,
the
okay,
creation
yeah,
bit.
okay, yeah.
Mhm. The dividing walls got some waiting benches. In the back of the courtroom here, got a few more chairs. We've got the courtroom typist ready to keep exact records of
What is
the
that?
court cases.
Is that a camera? What is that?
That is a camera stolen from the Institute, actually.
That's cool.
And a roaring fireplace to keep everything all warm. And, you know, this
boy.
being
Another day
a
of hard
partially
work.
destroyed building before, if you look up, it's a little bit ramshackle. Like, it has a nice, big, impressive entranceway, but if you look up, it really is being held together with, you know, duct tape and a
Dude,
prayer.
I love your symbolism here of like the person coming to court, cannons aimed at him, poster paintings of guns shooting his direction.
And a reminder of how you pay your debts with caps.
That's great.
He's like holding the cap up.
I didn't notice. He's, please, sir.
And then this guy's got caps on the tray with a little thumbs up. And on each side of the judge's bench, some classic Minutemen historic paintings to show some of the Minutemen heroes along the way.
This is where you'll be judged. Was that you had a lightsaber? Wait, is that you?
yes.
What the crap? What are you holding? What is that thing? It's
And
like
this is General Dave riding a mutant bear with a Chinese flaming sword.
Dave, I need you need an actual painting of that in your room.
This is now available on the RangerDave merchandise store. shop.spreadshirt.com/RangerDave.
Dude, that's amazing.
This is done by Joshua, who's done a number of new bits of artwork for me. Look at me squinting right there. Josh, this is fantastic. I saw this, Joel. I basically built the entire build around this painting. I was like, this needs to be in a gigantic Minutemen courtroom with George Washington
Maybe
and
you can
General
help.
Dave.
They're warring. Oh man, that's awesome. You need like a huge painting of that.
And of course, below it, a plaque. General Dave, he reminded us of the world before. Oh, that's definitely the world after, that's for sure.
of the war before. Of the world before. Oh, man.
And this, Joel,
Huh?
is one of our Minutemen judges.
Hat. Oh, my gosh.
He's wearing some pre-war colonial style hats.
Mm-hmm.
He is ready for the next case. See, now you know why the guy is so nervous out there. He's heard of this
Why
place.
doesn't have a monocle? He's like freaking Sherlock Holmes. Oh, man.
And the camera out in the armory room, it helps to create photos for all of these case files, so we can keep track of who's been naughty in the Commonwealth. So we can dispense justice.
Naughty and nice. Are you Santa Claus?
Oh, they wish I was Santa Claus. And then the Minutemen flag above the American flag to symbolize how we are the new America.
Yes?
Better America.
Oh, gosh.
Down here we've got someone who's been, magnifying glass.
Poring over the evidence. Oh, yeah, see.
That is very small
I see that you
handwriting.
did do a murder.
Did do a murder.
It's the sunglasses. Really, dude?
They're called authority
That would make
glasses.
sense. People that would work for you would be super intense and just really, like, power hungry.
We got spotlights hidden around the room to help light up our
Oh.
Minutemen paintings, including Joel. Spotlights hanging from the ceiling on rods to help illuminate the paintings.
That extra electricity.
Of
Yeah.
course, the judge has a backup plan just in case. A little 10mm tucked around there. This is still the apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is a pretty advanced courtroom. Like, we've established some law and order here. But there is some lawlessness still out there in the Commonwealth.
I'm not sure if you prepare enough, Dave. Like, if your builds are not, like, crafted around the feeling of being prepared.
I built the bench out of, like, man, it must have been about 25 different pieces of that low, like, bar-style
Busy
wall.
here.
These are some pillars that I resized, and then I put custom caps on the top to place the cannons on top of. The bench was a lot of fun to build out of all the different pieces.
I feel like you, like, repurposed the wood from, like, some old ship.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is our grand Minutemen courtroom. That guy's gonna be wired in about 10 more minutes.
Oh.
He's already wired. He's always wired. That's
Yeah.
why he works here.
Dude, you don't want to drop a pencil in this courtroom. He will draw on you. Oh, man. So besides taking this former trading hub here in the Bunker Hill Memorial and turning it into a center for law and order in the Commonwealth, the traders that had made up their livelihood before the Minutemen arrived, selling things like, well, junk and scrap and doing caravans across the Commonwealth, right? They've discovered a much more lucrative source of revenue in this new world controlled by the Minutemen here in the Commonwealth. Joel, what is more profitable than government bloat? Bureaucracy, paperwork, taxes, forms. There is some serious money to be had. So that's why what used to be the central trading hub here in Bunker Hill is now Patriot Plaza.
What?
The center of, well, paperwork in the Commonwealth.
Oh my gosh.
So after you've had your court case,
Propaganda kingdom.
after you've had your court case, this is where you come to pay your fines, or if you have like a lesser maybe case that's being looked at, you'll go here for just a quick judgment outside of like the full courtroom, perhaps. And it's been arranged to kind of overwhelm you with a feeling of patriotism. We even have a repurposed vault boy here holding the American flag up right up front. And a reminder that it takes taxes and caps to make all of this work. So says General Dave. That luscious beard.
And that huge thumb.
This is one of our other Minutemen Ranger outfits. I've been wearing this one for a while in videos, and
Oh,
people have
okay.
been asking, like, where's that from? Well, that's one of my Ranger outfits, essentially.
That's pretty badass.
It's not bad, right? So let's say, Joel, that the judgment is against you. The Minutemen Court has decided,
Let's just be honest. It's going to be against you.
and now it's time to pay your fee. Well, head over here to Billing and Records. And you don't go into the employee-only section.
Yeah, well, I know. We know that.
You ring the bell for service.
Again, step right up. A little bit of everything
And this is
from
where
all over.
these are actually some of the traders that were here before the Minutemen arrived. They're now working in the bureaucracy of the Minutemen government, making an even larger profit.
You want a cup of Jawa juice?
That's not true at all. Want to pay your taxes?
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to pay your taxes?
On the
That
menu
guy
today,
looks-
take it or
Oh
leave
man,
it.
that guy looks like he wants your money.
He can also provide medical assistance if required. Not cheap though. Not cheap.
You have
at
some sort of
all.
medical problem here, or
Medical
are you
assistance
just...
here at the Hall of Justice?
Well, I mean, he doesn't deliver it here, but you can
Oh.
request it here.
Oh, okay.
This is the ordering window, essentially.
Where do you get your medical?
At the sheriff's office.
Oh man.
Shall we continue?
What have I got myself into?
Back here, we've got one of our other Minutemen Rangers, who's keeping an eye on things in the Hall of Justice. Some other bits of propaganda posters.
Little bits of frame rate exploding.
Currently 15 at the moment, looking this direction.
Ranger Dave says, always be prepared, no matter if you're heading out for a day hike or weekend adventure. Always tell a friend or family member where you're going and pack plenty of water and snacks. Don't forget extra batteries for your radio and your binoculars to enjoy the wildlife. Your face is always watching.
Yeah, we found these pre-war park ranger posters and figured there's some very good advice on those.
Oh, yeah.
And for you guys that are seeing all these new posters, there's an update coming for my Minutemen Morale mod where you guys can use all of these in your own settlements. So watch for that update probably in about a week after this video goes
Yeah,
live.
have you guys ever wanted to have your frame rates rode down to 10 FPS? Well, download this pack. We'll help you get there.
Will rotating fix the frame rate? 26, 28, 35. We're golden.
Totally playable.
Back here in the employees only
I
section.
fixed up most of what's
Oh,
here
General
myself,
Dave's watching.
so
You
it's
gotta
all
keep the counters
guaranteed.
clean. They're all just scrubbing away.
Unless you need to return it.
You got some stuff behind the counters there. You got a 1911 cocked and ready
That
to
person
go.
looks like a drug addict working in here.
It's one of the old caravan guards. This person was kind of grandfathered in.
Oh, man,
Super
yeah.
trustworthy, yeah.
The super, the eyes, and oh.
But you know, no one's robbing the till back here while she's around. He's got extra screwdriver and a comic book.
Dude, he looks like he's got to work on Frankenstein.
And a terminal for filing that paperwork. Back here are, well, additional filing cabinets, of course, and the staff bathroom. A reminder that order is safety, work together, and we can rebuild. It's now been years of that poster, Joel. Years of that poster. How does that make you feel?
Like I've been indoctrinated.
Good,
That's
it's
how I
working.
feel. Good, it's working.
A reminder.
I thought it said guilt water.
Guilt water. Well, that's basically what this poster is. It's
Yeah.
guilting you that I'll be thankful for your clean water. It's thanks to the Minutemen. I never noticed before this too that employees must wash their hands poster has like a big dirty handprint on it.
Oh wow.
I never noticed that until I was building this build. And it's a bathroom. It functions. Let's squeeze our way out of here. And this is where some more traditional goods are still bought and sold. Including some General Dave's Old Rye whiskey. Some caps. I love the magnifying glass here because it's like he's determined he's not going to get any counterfeit caps. Like, what would that even be?
That would be
Counterfeit
something
caps.
my character would build. A
Yeah.
whole counterfeit caps.
It's like painted just tin or something. It's got all kinds of merchandise on display, including some,
We don't dial 911. I like that.
yeah, we don't dial 911. Got a big old 45 there, and a big
I
old
run 3
45 under the
caravans
counter
that
to match
travel
the sign.
throughout the Commonwealth.
He's got his panic telephone there, where you can call the central control room in case of an emergency.
And when you say central control room, I'm sure we're going to actually see a central control room.
Stand by.
Please stand by.
Stay with me. all kinds of
You ever
merchandise
buy
for sale over
anything from
here.
Good Neighbor or
Look at my
Dynasty?
wares.
Odds are it's been delivered
Old Man
by
Compton,
my
he's
men.
still running those caravans, now with a lot more military might behind them for protection. That's for sure.
What is it? Might is right.
Might is right. Boy, we have might. And this being a very governmental settlement, we of course have a Minutemen post office with the old post office sign, where we have our courier here who's sorting through letters being sent
How's it going?
back and forth from settlement to settlement. She actually has a Minutemen courier hat on.
How are you getting her to do that?
This is an actual Minutemen post office object added by a mod.
Oh, wow.
It
I
has
think I've done
like,
that before, it's just been a while.
yeah.
That's cool.
Well, I'm starting to have now all my major settlements that either are very large or are government focused have a post office now. Every single one. There's actually a network going. The lines connect. Of course, you've got all of your banners hanging from the ceiling. And this originally was like a really rough looking, like ripped tarp ceiling, which has now been reinforced with metal and aluminum siding to protect all of the government services. And additionally, back here in the employees only area,
Welcome back. Looking to trade?
clean up and keep this place clean. This is where our tax officer does all the tax paperwork from the settlement, all those fees being paid. Got your Nuka-Cola clock to keep your time card. We've also got our printing press here for printing all of these propaganda posters. Not all of them, because there's so many, but some of them. Printing some of the propaganda posters. And you'll notice here too, Joel, there's actual studs in the wall right here.
Oh my gosh.
I have a mod that lets you build walls in sections, so you put up studs and you can put your own facade on top, like wood or metal.
Oh my gosh.
So you can build almost like the Sims, like the facade and all the different frameworks, bit by bit, which also erodes the frame rate. So we're going to see everything out here shortly, but first, we're going to go back around and check out the sheriff's office. We're going to actually head out of Patriot Plaza here and check out the building that's right next to the civilian jail cell, which is going to be our local sheriff.
Best not to talk to the raiders.
As you might have seen
They can
coming
get
in,
rough.
we've got some pillories here for public justice, you know, small crimes, stuff like that. So over here we've got the sheriff's office, where someone is currently experiencing that
You got another
slight amount of justice
one. Slight amount.
right in front of the courtroom here. This is our sheriff here. She's keeping an eye on things. Her awesome looking hat.
Where'd you get the sheriff's office icon or logo?
Custom sign mod.
Nice.
I wanted to build it almost like an Old West style sheriff's office.
I like the little can. That's cool.
Little wind chime right
Yeah.
there.
Oh, okay. Who made that? That's awesome.
There's a mod that made
I don't know
just
what it is,
scrap
but I just
style
can't seem to get
artwork to
going.
decorate your settlements with.
That's really cool.
You're gonna see a few bits like that, including stuff like the Nuka-Cola chairs, probably dragged back from the theme park or perhaps the theme park entranceway. That train ride you can do. Repurposed sign from the Suffolk County Sheriff's Department, and then from downtown, classic police sign. We have an extra bunker wall here. I used that same framework mod to build the sheriff's office, so I built the framework and then added a almost western styled clapboard to it to give it an old west sheriff's office look with the lantern out front and inside some rough curtains in the waiting area.
Yeah, those are really rough.
Not much left of those. Someone's been having a smoke. Nice paintings on the wall. American flag in the corner, as you do. And this is where you can get some emergency medical attention, if you need it,
Yes.
from the deputy.
Oh gosh!
I did not know he was going to be there, actually. He startled me a little bit, because this guy always looks so pissed.
Dude, he looks like he's been punched like 1,000 times.
You know what? We're going to roll with this, Joel. He's here for medical attention, because I think he needs it. He's like, where's that deputy? He's one of the Minutemen officers, as you can see from his uniform there. But this is mainly some medical attention for the soldiers, essentially. And plenty of ammo storage for the sheriff. And this guy's waiting for her to come back and finish perhaps a report or something. And there's one of those extra sculptures that I added from that Scrapper sculpture mod. It's like a little airplane made out of bullets and empty cartridges.
Oh, that's cool.
Fun stuff. I imagine that as the key for the for the
Dude, that
pillory.
is a huge key.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah?
That thing's massive. That's like
That's
the
what I
key.
said.
That's like the key to the city.
Well, I think that would be the key to the pillory. I bet, like the giant the pillory where the guy is.
Is that the usual size of those things?
Apparently, yeah. I think it is. I didn't change the size.
No, I think they had to be some mod thing. I do not remember in the game like picking up a key like that. Those are huge.
That is a huge key.
That's a massive key. I love it.
Yes.
You're not gonna lose that key.
Not at all.
Huh?
Let's get out of here. Leave this guy to his medical attention. Man.
Use the metal from it to turn it into an actual sword. Forge this key.
It doubles as a self-defense weapon.
Yeah.
Tuck it in your boot.
The crop's coming in pretty good.
Around here behind the sheriff's office, we've got one of the water pumps for the settlement. And you can see the continuation of our electrical system that goes around as usual. One of our, I think he's one of the traders from the earlier Bunker Hill settlement, just having some grub of some kind. Not great looking. This is basically just a guard outpost looking out onto the streets of Boston. He's got his windows barred up in his sleeping bag. I'd imagine you'd want 2 guards here so that he's not just asleep and someone just creeps up to the window. You can't get in here, but that would be a really horrible way to die. I'll just take a quick
Hand
nap.
reaches through.
Or just drags you to the bars, like chokes you to death. One of our chemical workstations. Trying to make use of some of this shack space because, as you can see here, Joel, this is the kind of upgrade that the settlers here have gotten for their housing. It's not amazing, don't get me wrong, it's still scrappy, but instead of these horribly sealed shacks, they at least now have some much larger corrugated metal homes. I imagine it's pretty crowded inside, but hey, at least it's not raining on
What
you
does that say down there?
anymore. That's an extension of the Colonial Tap House from Diamond City. We'll get there, Joel. We'll get there. There's one of the water pumps providing water pressure for all of the toilets, the actual working toilets and sinks in the settlement. For those of you guys that wonder where all this water pressure comes from. And I mean, there's turrets along the fence. You expect that.
Yeah.
There's actually less turrets in this build because there's so many great guard outposts and there's so many Minutemen Rangers here coming and going. As we'll see in just a little bit as we visit the mercenary outpost. So we have to rely less on turrets. They're mainly just for blind spots along the walls. You can climb up the scaffolding here and get onto the rooftop. There's a look at some of the housing that people have been upgraded to here at Bunker Hill. On the rooftop, we've got a great view of the monument where we've added a beacon of light to the top because this is a beacon of justice for the Commonwealth. An obelisk to be feared and respected and loved, but also feared.
Mostly feared. In fact, that's the only thing. It produces fear.
It's powered by fear.
It's
Oh man. Like I said, we have plenty of guard outposts, so we're less dependent on those turrets. All kinds of great views of all the rooftops. It was tough to build here in the middle of Boston with the frame rate already so low, and with me wanting to add so much. Some supplies that were brought up here, and those are some of the spikes that were added to help with the spotlights down in the courtroom. And they kind of had to put them through the rooftop here, so we added those baseballs onto the end.
You come walking down that.
Yeah, they should probably.
That's not the greatest place. They should put like a rubber tube or something around like a.
Well, it's supposed to be like this one right here, but
Oh.
I think someone might have.
Dude, someone already fell on that
Yeah,
one.
someone already fell on that one. That needs to be replaced. That is not safety. Speaking of beacons of light, down on the jailhouse, we've installed a spotlight, which even in bright daylight is blasting.
You pump a lot of power into that light.
Can you imagine how much electricity that would be? Man, like you can probably feel the heat from up here. You gotta have your.
It's actually causing the flags to wave. The heat
It's
wave.
the heat wave. And we've got additional scaffolding over here, which is where we've built up this whole corner that had completely fallen in. You can see some of the debris down on the rooftop here. And we've built up this nice decorative archway up here. See if I can hop without landing on the spike. Still being worked on, but we found bits of stone and masonry and some pillars to build this kind of obelisk to go along with
Can you actually
the
go up
obelisk.
that? I can't remember if you could.
Yes, you can, and we're going to get a look at the end.
Ooh.
See some of the support pillars that are helping to prop the walls up down below. And some of the extra work that we've done to seal in that leaky rooftop. There's a few gaps. You can actually see just a little bit down inside there. But we've pulled these canopies and all off of other buildings to help rain-proof the rooftop. And this is one of our power sources, guarded by a Minutemen Ranger, as you can see.
Minutemen Green Beret.
That's a tactical mustache. He's probably a Green Beret. It's our fusion reactor installed in this little cubby here on the rooftop. Probably mostly for that spotlight. It's like 50% of the power goes to the spotlight. And some tools.
Is he drinking that?
I hope not.
Dude, it looks like a nuclear Red Bull.
Joel, why would you see that covered in glowing green goo with warning labels on it, and your first thought is, I could drink that?
There's Nuka-Cola. There's like the blue Nuka-Cola. Come on.
That is purely just radioactive material.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just looks like a nice can size, a drinkable can size.
Delicious, refreshing for the rest of your life. And the maintenance computer for the reactor. Currently, it's like on its screensaver, I guess you could call it, which is RangerDave survival tips.
That's one of those screensavers that as soon as it comes on, you're like, oh, you quickly grab the mouse and like
You're
push it.
you're scrubbing the
Yeah,
mouse
yo,
constantly.
get that out of here. Seen enough of those.
I
Tip
shouldn't-
number 4,321.
There probably are that many, actually.
Oh yeah, there's gotta be just days worth.
Days of tips. And thanks to a new workshop contraptions mod, we even have a working construction elevator to get up and down from the rooftop here.
That's cool.
I have the UI turned off, so let's play guess which button does the job.
I think it's the one on the left.
It is not that button. Whoa,
Oh,
whoa.
there's a close one.
Where's the hot spot? There it is. Down we go.
Is that safety?
That's safety. It's a construction elevator. If you can't handle it, don't go to the roof.
That's the safety. If you can't handle
Don't
it.
be a moron. Oh, man. And that's the little platform that we passed earlier here at the jail.
It goes down right into the bush, into the thorns.
Best not to talk to the
We'll have this
raiders.
door open.
They can get rough.
Out of the way,
Alright.
kid. We're going to head back through the Hall of Justice here. Extra red coat for the museum. Back here, Joel, was originally a bar run by some of the Bunker Hill residents, which, as you can see, looks more like a roadside motel now. It's gotten quite the upgrade. Originally, it was multi-storied like this. Didn't have a patio, though, and the rooms up top were like pure garbage shacks. Like scraps of cloth for rooftops,
This is
just
pretty cool looking.
pretty crappy.
Did you make all that right there?
Yes, the stairwell?
Stairwell, like the top.
The canopy?
I love how rickety it is. That's nice.
Yeah, I added the whole canopy on top of the stairs. Before it was just like a single crappy staircase. Now it's got a nice little cover.
Is that a
over
new
it.
roof too?
New rooftop. Salvaged from around the area.
Yeah, I like that, like the various insides or whatever you call it.
Yeah,
Salvage.
the bits of, what would it be, joists coming
Yeah.
out of the end, yeah. But before all that, let's check out the bathrooms. Joel's favorite part
bastard.
of all the settlements. We saw the pump down here. Here's that back alleyway.
Oh, yay.
We got a water pump on top.
Oh.
Put your phone away.
What time is it?
In here we have what used to be just basically like an outhouse.
And now showers.
Now it's got showers and everything, but they're down below, actually.
How do you get down below? The arrow is pointing that way.
Stairwell.
What a crappy arrow, though. We're gonna like take a step down. I trust the general. Ah!
Joel, you'd be the person that would follow a GPS into a lake. The signs are there to help you, not hold your hand. There's a lot of signs that try to hold your hand.
Yeah, there's like probably actual hand-holding sign that says, "Please hold your hand."
There's my shadows.
Is there a
dying.
rain down below?
This poor settlement is dying. Building a settlement this complicated in the middle of downtown Boston. I got a lot of hard crashes building this. But this is the fully functional bathroom. Please close the door before using the urinal. Don't just get in there and unzip. Plenty of stalls for everybody with water pressure. And it kind of hangs like over the walls, so I imagine this is like venting right down to the river or to the bay.
Oh.
And that's our restrooms. And if we just briefly go down the stairs like this,
Dave, at this point, do you even get tired of making the bathrooms?
I can make bathrooms so fast now.
Do you have it like down to?
That sounded so lame. I can make bathrooms
even
so
believe
fast.
it, bro.
You wouldn't believe it. Lame.
Power that I have, that I hold.
This is our shower area down below. Can you tell, Joel, which tub is for the lawyers and the judges and the the officers here at the settlement?
But who makes sure they're using the right ones?
All
I didn't
those-
see a guard.
All those patrolling guards, Joel, all those Minutemen Rangers are always on patrol.
Keep the door open mid-bath. Get in another one.
You get caught in the judge's bathtub, you go in the pillory. That would hopefully be a pillory like punishment, like you get an hour in the pillory, and not like a you're going to court offense. That's our little shower house there, complete with shower curtain. We're going to have to take a break right here, guys. Stay tuned for part 2 of the Bunker Hill Settlement Tour.